Right.
Hi. Look at t-shirts. What? And they match the glasses.
What? So,
All right.
welcome to our next episode.
Episode 8.
Episode 8. Wine and Realty 614.
That's Amanda.
And that's Jenny.
And we're coming live.
Yeah, so
Ish.
we are drinking cupcake rosé.
Rosé all day.
Cheers.
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 Not even a hand on there.
So we're doing a court case, and it's a surprise for Jenny. I found it, so then we will be chatting about it.
Let's talk it out.
Yeah. So February 3rd, 2010. So this has to do with steering, racial steering.
Okay.
So
what is steering?
So steering is where so clients are like, hey, where should I live? And
you'd be like, maybe this neighborhood would be one that you like.
Right. And why would they like it? So we can't say that. We can't tell you where you should live, where it's safe to live, or try to direct you in any type of direction. It's really like where you want to be. So this ended up...
Yes, because us telling you where you want to live is not allowed. So
right.
this is a case where
so Caldwell Banker was sued. One of their former real estate agents have agreed to pay $160,000.
$160,000
to settle allegations that they illegally steered prospective homebuyers toward and away from certain neighborhoods based on race and color. So
when did this happen?
2010, February 3rd, 2010.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh.
Not that long ago.
It really wasn't. So to think about this case happened 10 years ago is actually kind of crazy.
That scares me.
Yeah. So a complaint was filed with National Fair Housing Alliance and Housing and Urban Development. In 2003 and 2004 revealed that Foreman had steered, this is the agent, had steered white testers towards areas that are predominantly white and away from areas that were predominantly Afro-American based on race or color. According to the complaint, before showing the tester any homes, Foreman told the tester that he did not know where to take the tester because he could not tell from talking on the telephone whether the tester was white. Foreman said words to the effect that
they said that out loud?
Yes. I didn't know if you were a Caucasian or not over the phone. That's what he said to a client. So he said that.
And I would imagine this is probably a recorded conversation because so people don't realize that there are companies in existence.
Yeah, like Zillow records you.
Right. But there are groups of people who try to make sure that things like this don't happen. So they will call real estate agents to see and ask things and questions. So this,
So this case, I mean, it demonstrates racial steering. Like first of all, it doesn't matter what color you are to be in a neighborhood, or there's no reasoning like someone should like the neighborhood that they live in. And obviously this is completely illegal. And so we can't, you can't discriminate in housing on basis of race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, and disability. So so when you ask us, like, where is a safe place to live, or what neighborhood do you think that I would like, we can't tell you that.
We are not even allowed to talk about children. Like to say something like, this is a really nice neighborhood, there's lots of kids here. That's not allowed.
We can't even say it's, you can walk to the store. You can't say those types of things. And like, we have to be really careful. Obviously, neither one of us would ever say like, I'm not taking, like, I couldn't tell, if you're Caucasian or Afro-American on the phone, like that really has no relevance on where you should live and like where you should take somebody. And it just goes to show like, things are recorded and you can't, I mean, like, it's just not.
I just can't even imagine asking someone that.
Right? Like, could you imagine saying that?
I'm sorry.
It's disgusting.
Are you Asian?
Right.
Like why would that even come up?
Right. I don't know, but there's.
Okay. But it did 10 years ago.
Yeah. So there's obviously like still people out there that, act like that. And it's very important, obviously. And obviously these people, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah. And obviously this, the agent didn't see anything wrong with it. And I just
something wrong with that.
Yeah, it is so crazy to me. So
was it an older agent? I mean, is age
it doesn't say.
factor?
Yeah, it didn't say. Like it was. He was a Coldwell banker, and he had to pay $160,000.
Yeah, because fines are significant. Did he lose a license too? Or
I'm sure.
You would imagine.
Yeah, it didn't say, but people have the right to make a fully informed housing choice. Unlawful steering, which is called steering when we try to direct you towards a neighborhood by real estate agents, frustrates this right and perpetuates segregated communities. So
I have gotten the question about safety, and I've gotten the question with couples who are gay, and they would say, and I had clients at one point say, well, Jenny would show us what was safe and what isn't for us. How do you know that?
Right.
I mean, not that I would show you, or not. I mean, I can't. But how would you know if a neighborhood is? I mean, all we can really do is say there are, if crime is something you're concerned about, there's websites available for that.
And I have had clients say they want to live in a neighborhood because of a certain reason, but I can't like direct them that way. And it's, that's just, I guess, what they want. So
I think that in Columbus, we are so, I always like to say, well, and I'm not the one that coined this, but we have we're so, it's like a little diversity bubble. We're this area is so, there's so many different cultures and people, and my kids, going up through school, they just don't see that kind of thing. It's.
I think they still do. I don't know. I think that is still. I think this could still happen today.
Well, it could still happen. Of course, obviously it did. I mean, that's 10 years ago. It's not that long ago. But I don't think we experienced that so much here as, other places.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. It's an interesting question. That is disgusting.
I know. I was just like, oh my gosh. But, and that's it. We do have policies in place as realtors, and we have, and I think, just being a good person, but
well, and there's that,
like I said, I think it's really important to talk about this because people always ask us and they get upset with me, when they're like, well, I don't know the area. And so, then I think it's best that you drive around and, learn the area and learn where you might want to live, talk to coworkers or, look up stats and things like that, because things like this can happen. And I can't even tell you a neighborhood that you might like or something to that. I can kind of tell you a little bit about it.
I can tell you a house that you might like, but I can't.
I've been in that, because remember when I had that phone call come in?
Yes. And it was weird.
It was so weird. This guy was like, well, I need an agent to tell me, where it's safe to live. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't do that. And he kept pushing me. It
might have been one of those.
And I wonder,
I think we talked about that. And I said that could have been.
It might have been somebody on a recorded line. I felt like it was almost trying to entrap me. He kept asking me these questions and I'm like, I cannot answer those. And he basically told me he didn't want to work with me because I wouldn't answer it. And
okay, bye.
I'm like, okay, great. I that is not who I am.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't. It was really strange, and I actually called Jenny after it. But
yes. Like we so often do when strange things happen.
Yeah, it's just it was strange. So, I think that people should figure out where they want to live for their own personal reasons.
Well, absolutely, and I think that too. One of the reasons I think that for our podcast once a month, I'd like to do this kind of court case thing is because there are reasons that we can't talk about certain things. There's reasons we can't do certain things. We have ethics we need to follow. Mm-hmm. We have fair housing we need to follow. There are and the average consumer doesn't get it. They don't understand why that may be in place. So I think that things like this.
Mm-hmm. we are held to a certain we are held to a standard. Exactly. And I think, obviously people can get sued for things like this was completely ridiculous, but even us saying like, oh, well, I think this neighborhood's safe, you would like it there. That's even illegal for us to do. So we can't even do that. So
yeah, talking like again, people think it's but can't talk about kids. Yeah. Can't talk about families or kids or walkability or things church. Being within church. Yeah, distance of a church. I mean, there's just stuff that isn't for good reason. Yeah. For good reason. And sometimes it doesn't make sense, but then you hear things like this and like, wow.
Right. We have to, so
yeah.
Anyway.
There it is.
Yeah. There's our court case. I thought it was interesting. And it kind of brings up a couple different, viewpoints on it. So
yeah. It's amazing. I think too, just the stuff that happens. I think, people also don't realize that the standard we're held to, if a complaint is filed, I mean, there's significant fines involved and possible loss of license and
which is our your job.
Business.
It's our job.
Yeah. I mean, it's gone. Yes. And to me, it's just not worth risking. Like, no. First of all, again, so many of these things don't even come into the frame of mind of thought. But I had one time, I really, when I first got my license, I thought that I was being set up several times, like by things that people were saying. And I was doing a final walkthrough on a house, and I had the buyers and the sellers were there, and asked a completely inappropriate question, asking if the buyers were white, and they were from. And I don't know if this is why it came up, but they were from the Philippines, and my clients had lived in the Philippines at one point and wrote a note, something in the language spoken. And I think that's why the question was asked, but I was so thrown off by it. I was like, I don't, how do you,
right. Like, we still think about it, but
why?
Yeah.
So anyway, interesting. Good topic.
Thanks.
Good.
Yeah, that's called steering. So
not allowed.
And we don't
Steering's
do that.
not allowed. We don't steer. We don't tell you where to go.
No. Nope. We'll just take you wherever you want to go.
You tell us where you want to go, and we'll take you there.
And we'll sell you a house.
Always.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.